Now let's talk about the pivot table. I also want to use an example to show everybody how to use this function. Suppose now we want to design a data table for an art gallery. In this table, we want to record the inventory information about the art pieces of this company. Every time when the gallery checks in a new art piece, we will record the information about this piece. For instance, we will give an ID to this piece. Who created this art piece? What is the title or name of this art piece? When it is checked in? What is the category, condition, where it is stored? How much it is? It's good to record all this information in details. And it will be better if a manager is able to have an overview about the inventory according to different standards. For instance, he wants to look at what is the total value of the art pieces according to the storage location and the condition. How can we create such an overview for the managers? At this moment, we need to use a function called a pivot table in Excel. Click on the Insert tab on the top, and then click on the Pivot Table button. In the first box, we want to select the range of data we want to show in the pivot table. Usually, when you click on the Pivot Table button, the entire data range will be selected. If not, click on the button next to Table Range and select the entire data range. Here you want to make sure that the title row is also selected. This is very important. Make sure the title row is selected, and then click on the Confirm button. Next, you want to make sure that you want to create a new pivot table in a new worksheet. So select New Worksheet option, and then click OK. What we see now is called the Pivot Table Design User Interface. On the right, we have several labels. These are the titles in the data table. They also indicate the categories by which we create the overview of the dataset in the pivot table. In our case, we want to show the total value of art pieces according to the condition and the storage location. So let's drag the condition to either column labels or row labels. It's up to the analyst's preference. In my case, I drag condition to column label, and then I drag location to the row label. On the left, you will see a plan is created. We have two standards. We have the storage location and then the condition of the art pieces. Now we want to summarize the total values according to these two standards. It's pretty simple. You just need to drag the appraised value to the values box on the right. Now let's look at the pivot table. Because it's a total value, so we want to show the data in currency format. Let's select all the numbers in the pivot table and then click on the Home tab on the top. And then change the format to currency. And then you can move the pivot table a little to show all the numbers. The process of creating a pivot table is pretty simple, but a pivot table can provide several useful information to managers. For instance, in our case, a manager can find out the total value of excellent art pieces in the courtyard office is worth $203,500. No art piece in the courtyard location is in fair condition. Why? Because there is no value under this category, courtyard and fair condition. You will find, according to these two standards, there is no value in this cell. Also, you can find out the total value of good art pieces in the courtyard office is worth $2,500. no art piece in the courtyard location is in poor condition because there is no value under these two categories. If I ask you, what is the total value of art pieces that are in fair condition and in waste location? You can look up this table by using these two categories. Fair condition, waste location. And then you can find out the total value is $592. Now if the manager wants to know how many pieces are stored in different locations and different conditions, we need to create a new pivot table. Click on Insert, and then click on the Pivot Table button. Select the data range. Make sure the title row is also selected. And then click on the New Worksheet option. And then click OK. Same thing, we need to drag the standards into the column labels and the row labels. Let's drag condition to column labels and then drag location to row labels. This time we want to count how many art pieces are stored in different locations and are in different conditions. So we want to drag art ID to values. Now you can see Excel is trying to calculate the total values of ID numbers. This doesn't make sense because we want to count IDs. So let's click on the little triangle of sum of art ID and then choose Value Field Settings. In this new window, we want to change sum function to count and then click OK. And then in this pivot table, we can find out how many pieces are stored in different locations and are in different conditions. Many people know how to use the pivot table to calculate the total value, but they don't know how to use the count function of the pivot table. Please pay attention to the count function.